Truth Frequency Radio.
When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats in rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die.
What is up, everyone? It's your man, Frank Castle, your Sorcerer Supreme, right here every Saturday night on Truth Frequency Radio. This is Fearless. And I'm here with my ethereal translator, Paula Milo.
Hey, everyone.
I feel like I'm doing a car commercial. What's up? What are you doing?
Oh,
Chapstick. Oh, by the way, I found them all. I put them in there.
Thank you. I noticed that. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? Shout out to the Fearless family. Shout out to Chris and Cherie Gio. Without you guys, we
None
wouldn't
of
be
this
here
would
doing
happen.
this. Thank you so much for building up this family. Happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas is on the way and all the other great things that we celebrate along the way. And shout outs to everybody over at wearefearless.com.
Yes, one of our artists, Nick Zervos, he made it safely to New York, from Texas.
He's now an re-official
New Yorker.
New Yorkian.
And we wish him the best. We hope we see him.
Send energy to him. He did something. We find ourselves on things like the hero's journey. Right, or or when we meet our twin, then you become part of that, part of the story. He's in the hero's journey and took the journey.
Yeah,
and I was so impressed.
Yeah, proud. He took the leap.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to pack yourself up and
make
a move like that after he was in Texas for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Christmas is here. All the artists and myself, as well as my partner Sergio and my ethereal translator Paula Milo and everybody at Truth Frequency Radio. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being there. Thank you for checking things out.
Thank you for all of the support and the subscriptions and the donations and just, being part of this family. It means a lot to us. It truly does. And
we are making it happen.
Yeah.
We as in you and me.
Yeah, one day at a time.
I think back now that this is episode 1, 2, 3. Right? So now we're like 3 holidays now, and how we've changed throughout from the first time we came on the air that first year.
Oh, yeah.
And then ending that year like, wow. The stories were fantastic and the show was good. And then it kind of morphed again.
Yeah, it does that.
Right.
It does that. It does that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think our Fearless family does that. I think they help elevate the playing field. Yeah.
You're the best.
They help elevate us.
The elevation that has been occurring. And within us, within the group, within the people around us, within the Fearless community, probably within many, many communities out there. We're just not witnessing it ourselves. We are rising to the occasion. Those that would be the first round wake-up call for the planet are now in play. Due to the new energies and all the wonderful things that have been happening, we have been shook since 2012, out of our comfort zone, onto the floor, onto our heads, into hospitals, down a flight of steps. You're not waking up, wake up.
Hip replacements.
Hip replacements.
I mean, there's been a lot.
Concussions.
There's been a lot going on, but we're all managing to get through it. It has been a little more difficult recently with all of the energy coming in, but we're.
Well, this is it. This
is like the final push, the cleansing for the year, because now the year is closing out, and it's it really is a beautiful thing
to watch. Everyone grow amidst all the distractions,
chaos,
yeah, is amazing. See, I'm privileged to witness certain things. I don't know how other people see stuff like this, but starting the Fearless family and having the group and keeping the group is the family right now. I'm in and out with the meditations. I was doing good for a while, and then I explained the whole thing, and we got the kitten, and I kind of was just focusing on the kitten. And during that time, I watched, Shaman Jimmy go through it. He stepped in, just doing his own thing, but his version of teaching, learning, teaching, right? That's it. And then I'm sitting here watching that in the beginning when it started, and I was like, wow, I didn't know a lot of this stuff. Right. And then different characters, Robert Hawley, another one, steps out. Kenzie, she stepped out. And I'm not picking on anyone by not jumping out, but I'm watching
No.
this.
We just want to acknowledge the people that have been going.
The other day, Lorene, I'm using you guys' names. I'm sorry. I won't go any further with it. But you guys are stepping out. And Lorene did a meditation.
Oh, yeah. You had it on the other day.
It was awesome. Now, I know that takes a lot to get on camera and step out of your comfort zone.
Oh, absolutely. Well, she has the same bells you have.
We were just talking about.
So when she rang the bells during the meditation, it shook through my body.
The cats in the house, everybody kind of.
Yeah,
chilled,
it like I felt like it slowed everything down for like a second. Maybe a fraction of a second, but it felt longer. Do you know what I mean?
I think the bells bring you into the now.
But to feel it over the internet, like that. I mean, you wouldn't think
your own thing is saying there's no such thing as space.
No, absolutely.
So but those bells.
But that's what I'm saying. It was a legitimate feeling.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
It was like she was in the room.
Absolutely, and
I was in the kitchen because we were baking. I was in the kitchen, and I, was hearing it secondhand, and it shook me.
I was pumping it. I was like, nope, you got to play it nice and loud. I was just watching, and I just watch how people progress, step out of their comfort zones, and it's so appreciated and beyond anything. And you guys are becoming the teachers now, right? Like we do the show. Yeah, that's great. But you guys all are going to rise and become the Fearless, radio show for whatever it is in your world, metaphorically. You will become that character.
The ambassadors, yeah. It's amazing. It really is.
The ambassadors to the function of the light, to get everybody.
I mean, look what happened. We got this kitten. It's over a month now. We got this kitten, right? Because it was around Thanksgiving.
It was a month and 1 week.
This cat was so sick that when my sister called me and said, you have to come pick up this kitten, she really thought that when I went to the vet, they were going to put him down. And because of all the prayers and the kind words that went out, I mean, this cat can see now. His eyes are better. He can see. He can breathe.
This cat runs through here like a lightning bolt. And we make jokes because I'm like, well, he definitely can see because he runs away from me now. And Squeak even did that when he first saw my face.
Yeah.
He kind of waked
up. Oh yeah. Well, this cat, you catch him
that's
staring at you. It's funny. Like he'll sit on the couch and he'll just look at you. And I think it's because now everything is really into focus.
The Frankenstein thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was
my feet going bong, bong, bong. Like now he sees us. But that thought of him seeing. We didn't even think that was going to be possible.
Yeah, so that's because of you. That's because of all of the prayers and kind words and energy going back and forth. It was an exchange of energy, and it really worked because
you have to become your own scientific method with these things. I put the spiritual energy work to the test. We do that in this house every day.
Yeah.
If one of us needs like the other day, Paula walked by me and I had a stiff neck and I didn't know why. It just started developing out of nowhere, but I hadn't done anything. And she ran her hand across me. She was checking me by scanning me. We talk about cleaning and clearing ourselves. And something jumped from my like shoulder into my neck. And then when I opened my mouth, it was like I purged it directly up into the sky. And then the intense, sharp pains were gone, and I could kind of turn my head. I still had a stiff neck, but it was nothing like it was. I mean, instantly. So a lot of times when you have damage or some kind of injury, there's also a spiritual blockage or an attachment that's going to go along with this, especially if you're in pain and you're sitting in it. You know, it's not like a pain you get once in a while. It's like a pain that's just kind of
it's radiating from you.
You're like, oh man, enough with that. Well, that's when things attach, get in. That's where the blockages actually are. And that's why we tell people, I was listening to Rob before and he was saying it too. It's almost like the families are really combining and coming together now. We're starting to sound like,
oh yeah, I was listening before too, the show, and
if you're gonna do anything like cleaning and clearing and this and that, you got to do it to yourself first, right? Like practice on you. You're gonna go to Reiki, whatever. You got to do it to you, right? You're gonna clear someone, do it to you. You're gonna remove a demon, remove it from you. You can't remove nothing from no one until you're clean and clear. Because if you have anything attached to you, it just attaches to it when it comes out, and then you're fighting a double losing battle. It's not even worth it. But when you ground yourself and you clean yourself out, you become that the pillar of light, right? I say, I'm the pillar of light in the darkness. I say that every day. And I imagine roots just shooting through me into the center of the earth. And anything attaching to me will either get sucked up and transmuted or pushed down and pushed through the planet and diluted that way, right? So, and it'll come out another way. It's just the way the energies work. And as I do that, anything that approaches, it's either you become part of the pillar of the light inside the darkness or you're gone. Pretty interesting stuff. But you got to do it on you first before you start working on others. And then it becomes quite the interesting experience. I don't know. The energies have been high this week. Things have been crazy, and it's been a build-up. There was a lot of talk about the event and the energy waves and all that, and that's cool. But there definitely is, every year, the solstice portal that opens and energy pours out. So that is is going on for sure. I can't talk about events and aliens and ETs at this very second to say this is what, because I've heard some of these transmissions and channelings in the last week, because I was told you better listen to some of this because you're going to know right away what's BS and what's not.
But I think that the end of each year is a very heavy energy time, because as we are leveling up and the planet is going through an ascension, the planet itself is going through an ascension, it needs to shake off all of that negative vibration. And I think that's what we're feeling. We're feeling the planet going through an ascension as well. When we say
ascension, we mean moving up in frequency.
Yeah, moving up in frequency, letting all of those dense vibrations go, letting all of those negative feelings go. You can't take them with you. We're going into a new year now. It's very important to shed a lot of the stuff that you don't need anymore.
Think about the mirror image of a pyramid, right? So as above, so below. So when the pyramid's flipped and the two tips are touching, right? At the midway point, you go up a pyramid from here to the point, and then you got to squeeze through the other point, and then it opens up nice and wide and goes all the way up to the highest of densities, and it opens up for everyone. But you got to squeeze through that area. Why is it like that? Well, that's like when they say you can't take it with you, and you got to release that stuff, and the negative energies got to go, and you can't take the parasites and the archons up with you. That's the point of no return right there. That's it. That's out of it. To go out of there, you have to become lighter. You have to get light. You can't take the burdens of the world with you there.
You can't take any burdens with you. You have to let it all go. You have to let the earthly go. The archons and the the non-human entities, that's a part of it. But, in this ascension, it's what you are holding on
Your
in the
personal
earthly.
internal structure to vibrate at that high frequency, to pass through that boundary or that layer of energy into the next part. You can't be weighed down with distractions, nonsense, fractals, negativity that haven't been cleared and cleaned, things that haven't been resolved, contracts that haven't been whatever signed off on or gotten rid of. There's so many different things that you can't take with you, right? But you don't lose the gnosis of that stuff. So when it's being pulled from you, it feels like stuff's being stolen from you. Like, you took that from me, and people are afraid to have that removed. Like, that's me. And I'm like, no, the less of that stuff attached to you is the more you. You're just not getting up and through. Oh, karma. That's the other thing. I'm picturing the karma wheel. The karma's being removed. That karma cycle, if you step out and observe, karma starts absolving itself. You're not getting into more destructive patterns, right?
Yeah.
So that stops building the karma. So you start burning away the old karma, right? Like when you drink Aya, you burn away a lot of that. It's like removing a lot of those layers quickly, or pushing through the ones that are very, very difficult right then and there, because it's what you need, not what you want.
But that's what she does. She accelerates the process. So what would take you years could happen in
or even
days.
Lifetimes.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It's still opening up for you, huh?
Yeah. Every day. Every day. Every experience I've ever had plays out or unfolds. There's a checkpoint or something that draws me back to this way of thinking every single day. And that's how it has to stay.
No matter how far you throw that rock into the pond, it doesn't seem to go further and further each day. It gets closer and closer to you because you can't do that anymore. You can't travel down those psychotic pathways and the neurosis and the cycles and patterns that repeat that just don't suit you any longer. When you're standing there wondering while you're pulling out your hair and you've got one wet sock, the other one you don't even know what's going on. You got red paint across your face, your hair sticking straight up. You're like, dude, what is going on here? I literally cannot take it anymore. That's when you have to step back.
Yeah.
You have to start releasing things one at a time.
Yeah, you have to. There's no way you can take it. You don't need those old, you don't need those old feelings of who you were. Who you were is not who you are now.
Yeah, this stuff doesn't define you.
No, and it doesn't suit you. It doesn't suit to bring you. I am not the person I was last week,
You're an
last
infinite
month.
being. You think just this lifetime, however old you are, is what defines and makes up your whole soul? Meh. That's what Sherman says. It is a rough time for sure. It is an interesting time for sure.
Yeah, so we just have to, we have to push through it.
So let me ask you a question. You heard from me today, through me, that the president was pulling people out of situations where wartime situations, bringing troops back home. How did that make you feel?
Oh, I think the troops should come home. I don't know if it should have been announced the way it was. I think you should quietly have let them come home.
I'm not putting you on the spot. I'm just
No.
curious.
That's as far as my opinion goes on that.
Right, yeah. I'm not too politically opinionated. I've been watching, waiting for the popcorn because I want the heads to roll, wondering if they're going to roll. And what I see, though, is a production towards that, towards something better. What that better is, I'm not quite sure. Politically, kind of in the background running, let's say in certain people's lives, it's starting to shine through. They're running a better program of what I'm going to be. So there's this is what I'm trying to get at, greater sense of perhaps hope.
Because he's forcing more transparency. Now he's trying to make the news outlets responsible for everything they're printing and saying. He's forcing transparency. I don't really want to talk about the president.
It's not about the president. It's just about that bold move.
Oh, it was a very bold move.
Because all right, so these are the moves that allows the mirror to be shown to the people at home, those that you would call the thick-headed Trump supporters, this, that, or the other thing. You're going to see those that wrote articles saying we shouldn't be at war, Trump's got us at war, his fault, him removing the troops, and the same people say, what are you doing? You're removing the troops, you're creating more ISIS. So you're about to watch the play unfold. And those moves that he's doing is what's going to cause you to see it on a mass scale. You're going to go, what did he do today? And then you're going to see that and you're, whoa. So these things are going to be hitting, but are you going to witness this? Are you going to see how this is playing out? Because it is a play, right? So if you're not distracted by it and you're like, let me take a look at this, right? Do you wonder why CNN's ratings have dropped terribly? It's because there's like this weird thing in the conscious that just sees that they're full of it and they back away from it. So there's an organic movement to step back from these things, while at the same time an organic movement to push forward for things like organic and health. She's shaking her head. Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm nodding my head. You can't see me.
All right. So my point is that there's glimpse of hope in the biggest distraction sense running in the background. Like, I don't feel the fear factor. Do you feel you're going to war?
No.
No? Do you feel you're going to go outside and get punched in the face?
No.
You're going to get hit with a brick?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but I don't live off of fear, so I don't feel that normally. Even when I'm in a situation I shouldn't be in, I don't feel that fear because I try to navigate through my life the best I can. So I'm not put in those situations or those scenarios.
Right. Well, a lot of people are. I'm watching the world wake up through one distraction at a time.
After another, yeah.
So one has to be like a major set-off to work its way back down the line. But to have hope within that, things like, peace, bliss, joy, comfort, fixing, cleaning, purging. Those are all great things.
Yeah.
But those are also considered, by the basic definition, apocalyptic in nature. Because the true definition of the apocalypse is the purging to go bring it all back online to go clean again. And what's the best way to do that? You could watch it in me as an individual in the house, throwing up in the bucket so hardcore. He's great today. He's terrible yesterday. And then here we are, episode 123.
Right.
So glimmers of hope throughout the whole thing by the push and the big pull. Remember, where you stand now is important. It's either you're active or you're inactive. You're kind of with it and flowing, right? You're trying to go with that flow and release that stuff, or you're not. Right, and then that's where you get like Jerry Springer show.
Yeah, and if you're ascending, there's no room for it. There's no room in that funnel for Jerry Springer. So you have to stay away from that. That's the distraction.
Exactly, and those that fall into those distractions become more like the show that's a distraction for you, like Jerry Springer. It's going to really shine now. In other words, people that are pulled to the negative, they're really going to pull. We say this every week, though, and but it's to remind everyone, hey, listen, you're not going crazy. You have to stay strong within yourself.
Yeah, you are feeling what you're feeling.
Don't let someone else pull you back into that place that you already leveled up from. Right? It's not your job to, force I can help you onto someone if they don't need it, or if they're like saying no, like I don't need this. This is why I stopped talking to people and telling them, ayahuasca will help. Like I just stopped.
Right, because if they don't want to hear it,
I don't even want to say it no more. Because
no, it's a waste
of reaction every single
time. Because
time.
It's not an even exchange of energy because they're shutting you down before you're even getting your sentence out.
Yeah, because
so it's not worth it for you
really
to do
just
that.
Want someone to listen.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of big moments ahead.
Yeah, I think so.
Even when I close my eyes and oh, there's a minute left. All right. So like when I close my eyes, things look differently again with the new energies. And I'm going to talk about some of the heavy duty symptoms I went through this week and some of the stuff that we've been going through here, the ups and downs and the crazies. And you're not crazy.
No, you're not.
Actually
this is
doing it.
What you're feeling is what you're feeling because that's what's happening right now.
The fact that you are here is a miracle within itself. The universe has plans for you, big plans for you. Just because you're here, the fact that you're here means there's something more for you. So much more. I love you guys so much. Make sure you get a subscription. And shout outs to the great shows that are on tonight. Truth Frequency. It's the best lineup in radio.
Oh, yeah. We were just listening to Ra. And when we come back, Ra did a reading for me. I'm going to briefly go over it.
Yeah. That was a really good one, too. Very potent and very on point. That reminds me, I have to talk to him later. There was one when more than one, the same word is used over and over again. It sets off key flags in my own mind.
Oh, absolutely.
And he hit one that is just ringing bells in my head like crazy. All right, stick around. We'll be right back after these quick messages. You're listening to FearLess on Truth Frequency Radio, and I'm Frank Castle, your sorcerer supreme, and I am here with Paula, Milo, my etherical translator.
I hope to find another day what I've lost before. I'm trying to find my second thing so I can feel some more.
Yeah, like what?
Tell me how it is or what can't be done.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
No hate, no hype, no fear. Real people, real radio.
Am I awake or is this a dream? A fantasy where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. My name is Frank Castle. I'm here with Paula Milo, my etherical translator, and this is FearLess.
Hey, everyone.
Before we continue, give a shout out to Ra. If you could go over to his patreon.com, The Mystical Spiral, and check him out, it'd be greatly appreciated. Ra has got quite the talent. He does readings, just quite a few things, but he did a reading for you.
Oh, yeah. I just got the information a couple of hours before the show, and it was amazing. It was amazing. He was, he gave me a time frame. It was the DNA activation reading, and he gave me a time frame when he saw things changing in my life and these key points in my life, and he was right about everything. Things that I pulled in from other timelines, other lives that I've lived. He was very accurate about it all. So if you're interested in getting a reading, you should definitely contact him because he's always accurate. And, he doesn't use, he uses very easy words to understand. The way he breaks it down for you is very, very clean and very clear. So there's no room for interpretation. It is what it is. What he says is what he sees. And that's what I like about it. But just the timelining, just all of the timelines were very accurate, I thought. And, it's...
Well, because you have it mixed after reading the reading, you were able to. You had another experience a while back, and it was made the two of those just like locked.
Yeah,
in
we're
on
merging.
something.
Yeah,
merging.
Yeah. It was a really good experience. So if you are, like I said, if you are interested in getting that type of reading, you should definitely contact him because he knows what he's talking about and he's very good at what he does.
Yeah, some people are. It's part of them.
Yeah, it's definitely part of who
and
he
you
is.
know the difference.
Well, he
between-
gave you information as well, right? About yourself?
Yes, but Ra and I have our we've spoken on the show about it a couple of times. That a few years back I saw him on YouTube, and I was talking about his story, and then right before he came to TFR, Chris was telling me, "Oh, there's this guy. He's coming over. His name's Ra. He's excited. He wants to talk to you, whatever." And I was listening to it. And I go, as he was explaining to it who he was, he brought up the story that I knew him for from that video. And Chris was explaining to me, that viral video just kind of came out a few months ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you talking
Couldn't
about?
have been. Yeah.
I saw that for the last couple of years. I was living with my ex, and I was watching that video.
And you showed me that video when we met.
Yeah, and that is
so
something that
I don't
did independently
understand.
with Paula.
Yeah, independently.
Oh, and when I showed, here was the thing. When I showed you, that video came out in February.
Yeah, it was in my house upstate.
Right, but we weren't.
No, we weren't together until we weren't together until months after that. But you did show me a video. I remember seeing it because it was in my basement in my house.
Because I was bringing it up again, like, hey,
Yes.
you got to see this. Okay, and I had told her the whole story and everything, and that was way before meeting anyone. So it was very intense. So then, naturally, when we did finally talk and everything, it felt like more of a, when you talk to someone and you feel like you know them forever.
Yes,
it
yes.
instantly hit off on that and became, naturally so much more. So definitely check them out. That was awesome. And the powers, our strengths from within are now beginning to shine outward. Ra, like myself, him more so than me, has been putting out this kind of information and been talking to people way longer than I have about this stuff. So you can tell how when the energy does flip,
Yes.
which it has.
Yes, you can feel it. You can feel it in the words. You can totally feel it in the
who's on
words.
the tip of the wave.
He,
with understanding.
he used a lot of, he explained to me that there was a lot of DNA that needed to be activated. And, now he set off the activation so that, we can follow through with what we have to do. And I totally understood what he meant. I felt that, and Frank and I were talking about this before the show. I had he said I do a lot of work in my sleep. Through my dreams, I'm seeing a lot of, and he called it, a lot of other timelines are coming through in my sleep. And that had happened to me a couple of years ago when I realized before I had met Frank, I believed that I could be happy, but I never believed I could be happy as I am now. And, I think that's how most of the people walking around on this planet feel. They can be happy, but they can never be as happy as they truly believe they could be. I don't think people are even aware that they could be that happy.
It's almost like a fairy tale dream.
But it is. And it shouldn't have to be a fairy tale.
Self-sabotaging when you do reach some kind of minimum level.
Yes,
yes. Well, this is too much, but it grows daily. Moment by moment, I should say. So when it's there, that just grows. So if you think that's intense, and then it just keeps working its way up through frequency, through density.
But we're activating every day, and we have to be aware of that. Now, that takes a toll on your body and on your mind and on your spirit. So you do have to be aware of that. There's a lot of outside influences, and you as long as you're aware of what's going on around you, you can work through it. It's not as scary as you think it might be. It's not illness. It's not, most of the time, it's not negative energy or negative attachments. It's this changing frequency, changing vibration. It's like a growing pain.
I thought for the first 2 years of doing Aya DMT, I would cry And
Yes.
feel like I'm dying.
Yes,
I don't
yes.
want to go through this again. And then one day they were just being standing around me like, dude, what is your problem? And I go, we were teleporting. I saw everyone doing it at once. We were all moving at the same time. And I looked like I frizzed out. Like everyone kind of went bzzz, like they were being teleported. And I went, oh, I can't breathe. Now, I wasn't breathing there. My body's breathing, right? But
Yeah, your
there.
physical body
So
is breathing,
my
yeah.
etheric body's going, I can't breathe. I think I'm dying. And they were like, what is wrong with you? And I go, I don't know what's happening. Every time whatever the hell this is happens, I'm dying and I'm tired. And they're like, dude, you're changing frequency. And I went, what? And they were like, we're there already. We were already in the next place. And then I went, I feel great.
But that's a
And they're like-
lot for the human body and the human mind to understand.
Yeah, so it's
That
like,
could give you, that itself could give you a heart attack if you're not prepared for it.
oh, for sure.
You know, I mean, so you
I
have to
spent a
realize
year
there's a lot of
dealing with this,
people,
too.
you know, there are a lot of people that have, you know, that are labeled with mental illness that are really not mentally ill. They are understanding that there are many planes in this earth. You know, and they may be seeing very clearly into a different plane. And that is very hard on the human mind and the human body. You know, we take a lot of things with us from one reality to another. You know, a lot of our physical pain is based off of things that happened to us from a previous contract that we wrote.
You're absolving karma.
Yes.
In the physical.
Yes.
Injuries, pain, suffering.
Yes.
And, yeah. And you know how you know when it's time that you're done?
Yeah, the pain goes away.
You're like, dude, I'm done.
The
You
pain,
wake
the
up and go,
pain
"I'm
goes
done," and then
away.
all of a
Yes.
sudden, things start to release. You would never think it. You would never think that because of the way we've been developed through society and cultures and everything. Like, it just does not even touch on these topics. And now we're cramming in these lessons in the shortest periods of time.
But they are hard lessons. Like, you know, one lesson in particular that Frank has been helping me with lately is learning, you know, I was very good years ago at, I shouldn't say very good. It's been very hard for me. Learning to say no
oh, yeah.
and mean no. And then learning to put yourself in a frequency so that you don't have to say no. And that's the hard part. Learning to say no is hard because there's a lot of guilt that comes along with saying no. So I've been learning that and I've been trying to push through the guilt. But changing your frequency enough so that you are no longer in those situations, like situations of, you know, if you find yourself constantly being a victim and you don't want to be a victim anymore.
Why is this always happening
Yes.
to me?
Why is this always happening to me? Whatever it is.
I was a victim of that.
Yes.
Big time.
Yes. And you changed your frequency and it never
It took
happened
forever.
again. But it did. But
that one thing.
yes, but you did it. And it basically changed your life, Frank.
You would never think something like, yo, these people don't respect me, saying that. Like, I'm not getting respect from these people.
Right.
Or this guy,
But you manifested it. You manifested people not respecting
When
you.
I let that go, the same disrespect would get thrown at me, except you can't disrespect me because I'm not engaging with you, so it just makes you look stupid. And I didn't have to say anything.
Correct.
And then all of a sudden it's, oh, you know, the shift is going on. I think I'm ready for ayahuasca. And it's like, no, you ain't ready. Go meditate. Go breathe.
Right. And if you think that's a joke, then you're not ready. Then you're really not ready. But, you know, it's, you know, the change doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a day or a week or a month, sometimes not even in a year. But I am learning. And now that my frequency has started to change,
Like a permanent change.
I'm noticing that I am no longer in those scenarios where I would have to say no. So I changed my frequency, which changed my outcome to things. You know, I no longer feel guilt when I say no, because I really mean no. I cannot do the things that I could do before. I'm not physically well enough to do certain things. And that was hard enough for me to accept personally. Now I have to accept it publicly. And, there
Right
were
there, those layers are enough to hold back the world.
exactly.
Right there.
And I had to let that go. And I've noticed that I am no longer in situations where I have to feel guilt, which is great because you should be able to say no
Why
and
do you
mean
have to
no.
feel guilt?
Why
No, I'm
do you
saying,
have to
I
feel
meant
guilt?
yeah, exactly.
Because
Why?
because we think we have to suffer in this life. We think we cannot have it all. We think we cannot have exactly what we want.
I would pull. I make fun of Paula sometimes. I sit next to her and I'll go, if I pull out a sheet of paper and draw a picture of you on here, can you point and show me where I hurt you with that or how that hurt your feelings and stuff? And we laugh and make jokes. But the honest truth is, yeah, you got to not let that stuff get to you, stick to you, affect you.
Yeah, you can't.
It's not easy.
You can't. And I
You're
have
built
been
to engage that.
Yes, and I have to say I have been maneuvering through my life very nicely. I've had to let a lot go. I've had to take a step back from certain things, and I think that was the best thing that I could have done for myself. And there are times when we need to be selfish.
Yes.
And we need to come first because no one will ever say to you, put yourself before me. You know how they say opposites attract? Yeah, you know what that means? I give and you take because opposites do not attract. Okay? You need to be around like-minded people that understand your situation, people that are on the same frequency. If you don't
be opposite sides of that frequency.
Yes. But you all have to vibrate at a similar frequency. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a fearless family and friends. It wouldn't work.
Saturday morning
No. But I don't mean to sound cheesy, but
family and friends.
No, but I mean it because we are a family. I mean, we're a community of people. It's an amazing, beautiful thing, and everyone has their own opinion about things. And that's the way it is.
What's the first thing everybody says too when they enter the family or the group? They're like, "Oh, finally a place to talk."
Yeah,
I have no one
where I am not judged.
Yeah,
I am not judged.
And thank you for not judging me. I'm like, judge you? Oh, no way. We can't judge you here. But
that's it. But where do you go?
Place either. This is a place for non-victimization.
Exactly. Think what you want to believe, what you want to believe. But you wouldn't be here with us if we didn't share some commonality. And that's all we're looking for, some commonality. We have this poor kitten, and we have all these cats in the house, and no one wants to play with him. And it's like this poor cat is looking at me like, why are you my mother? I don't understand. There's another cat here. She could be my mother. Why are you my mother? And it's like, but I love you, and I chose you, and I saved you. I will be your mother now until forever. That's just the way it is, whether you realize it or not, or like it or not, or want it or not, because I love you and I am your mother. That's just the way it is. And he just looked at me and he went, yeah, like, okay, yeah, and we moved on. But, it should be that simple. I love you. You love me. You do this thing that annoys me and I do this thing that annoys you, but we can find a way around it and move on.
Absolutely. 100%. And we have to start working like that instead of playing tug of war with this.
But it does. We have to work together. I mean, and that sounds so silly too. But like we talked to Jimmy, and we talked to a lot of other of our fearless friends and family, like Brett and Rihanna. These are couples that have been together a long time. Frank and I, we haven't been together as long. We unfortunately we didn't remember who we were in this life until later on, and we're not trying to catch up. We're just living every day, and it's just every day that we're together. It's an amazement how we didn't know each other before.
And we want more of that.
We want more of what we have now. So I constantly sit in a place where I get more of what I want. I want more of my family life, and that's what we have. The holidays are here now. It's been a crazy time. We just need to take time for ourselves.
Yeah, and if you're sucked into the deception of the whole satanic holiday thing, like, oh, it's commercialism and this and that, don't celebrate it that way. Celebrate it your way. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is.
If you don't want to celebrate, don't. I'll be honest with you, no one gives a shit. Being honest
No
with
one
you,
does.
No one really cares.
At
what
the
you
end
decide
of the
to
day,
do.
no one cares.
But if you're gonna do it, and you decide to do it from your heart, whatever that is.
Own it.
Own it. Smile. Eat it. Enjoy it. Speak it. Live it. Don't be that guy at the party this year. Don't be the guy to force just because you know there's fluoride in the water and you got to start screaming at the table.
I'm
Just
cooking
send
chicken
love to
fingers for
everybody.
the kids on Christmas Eve. I've never cooked chicken fingers on Christmas Eve in my life.
You're like, look, let's just smoke a joint.
But
and
that's
hang
what
out.
we're doing, okay?
Yeah,
because that we adapt. We just
But
adapt.
it's what people want. See, this.
But it is what people want.
You ask a handful of people. Look, this is what Christmas dinner is, or you ask a handful of people.
What would you like to have?
Oh, you know those little chicken thingies that you did? You know, the kids love them. Frank don't eat fish. This don't eat that. This one don't eat this. This one don't eat meat. This one don't want that. Could you just make the little chicken things? Because then at least five people will just eat that. Now you have people like, well, I can't wait for the chicken things. Nobody really cares about the other stuff because it doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't. As long as you're all
together.
together, you could order pizzas.
Yeah,
it
Christmas
doesn't
has to
matter.
fit me now. The holiday has to fit me.
Yes.
Like on Halloween, I wear the holiday on me, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you do. You wear the
Well,
cape.
that's
Oh,
what
do you want to
Christmas
tell
has
them
be.
about your chefing ability? How it has grown?
So, well, just for example,
For example.
one of the things I decided to do was dress for the job I want, not for the job I have, and it seems to enhance my ability to do whatever it is I'm doing because I feel like I'm part of it, right? So I don't know how to cook. And Paula's been showing me some stuff, and I've been sous chefing with her.
And it's been awesome for me.
So as it progressed, I noticed that during the holidays, and we've done the raviolis here a few times, but now mind you, stepping out of your comfort zone is the point of this conversation that we're about to have. I've made ravioli a few times, and I'm kind of like, oh, that's cool. It's fun to make it with you, but whatever. But then you realize I woke up one day and I says, well, we all got to eat every day. Like every day.
And Paula cooks every day.
Every day. All the time.
Every
You
day.
need to shovel stuff in your mouth hole. That giant
your mouth
gaping
hole.
hole in your face that spits out vibrations of all different things. You have to stuff with food and fill this sack of flesh in your belly so then you can go later and deposit out what your body doesn't take as nutrients and not hold in the poop container contents, right? That's what goes on. Okay. So I woke up and I said, I want to help because this is a good idea.
It was a good
Because
idea.
We need to eat. And from that and watching some of the cooking shows, I bought a $16 cooking jacket.
Chef coat.
And I got that. So I didn't get any. I keep getting my shirts filthy. So I'm just running through shirt after shirt. So I'm like, I'll just wear this thing almost like a painter's smock.
Right. And you respect the chef coat and you won't get it dirty. Because you respect it.
I'm a mess. So for me, getting it dirty is a sign of ultimate respect in my house because that's what I bought it for. But I also am showing respect to the food. I turned into a little bit of a weirdo tyrant the other night. Cooking like I had like a regiment going.
You did. You had a whole
And
routine.
you were like, oh, you put the coat on, and all of a sudden you're this, and I'm like, well, I am. That's
Frank
why.
baked I prepared the dough for all the
Did stuff
Christmas
I've never
cookies.
done ever.
And then Frank baked them all off for me, which was great. And then tomorrow he's icing, or tonight you're icing
Right
the
at
lemon
show.
cookies. Yeah.
So my point is this: stepping out of your comfort zone. What are you, kind of like playing on the line with? Like, see, cooking with Paula makes me spend more time with Paula.
Aw.
Even though I'm sitting 10 feet from her cooking anyway, but I'm not learning anything. I'm not really doing anything over here, and I have to eat. And why does she always have to cook? There's all these things, right? But then what happens if I'm alone? Can you do this? Okay, so you take on these things, right? Like a guy that doesn't know, you grow a beard, you better know how to change a friggin' tire. That's all I'm saying. You should know how. So things like that. If you don't know how, maybe you should do it. If you don't know how to write a check, have mom or your girlfriend or your boyfriend show you a couple of times. Things that take you out of paperwork is out of my comfort zone. So when I say write a check, my hands shake if I have to write a check. So I don't write checks. I always show up with cash, right? Because why? Because I'm avoiding that. Well, the more you avoid certain things,
Christmas cards.
the more you fall into a hole with it. So other things that you could avoid make things better, right?
Yep.
But listen, I'm not going to try to re-roof the house or anything, but I'm trying to do new things that keep the fresh flow going. But I'm also scared and nervous about life. And
you've been pushing through it like a pro.
That's
I
the
said
only
to
way
Frank,
do it.
let's send out a Christmas card this year. And he said, well, I've never done that. I don't know. I don't know if we can handle that. I don't know if it's a good idea, but I don't know. So I made up this Christmas card, and it has a picture of us, and it has a picture of our animals. And we sent out a Christmas card to a few people, and everyone told us how much they loved the card. And Frank was like, wow, we sent out a Christmas card this year. What are we doing next year? And it was like, you don't remember the torture that I went through when we talked about the Christmas card.
There's like a veil of nonsense.
Fear
that you pass through, right? When you break through, like me with the cooking, I was always like, man, I don't care. You do it. Man, I don't care. Or I do this, so you should do that. Or we make that deal in advance. Like, I'll just continue doing this and you continue doing that because I'm not good at that. But listen, what happens if your arm's broke and I got to throw the trash out, but you've never thrown the trash out? How do you know how to throw the trash out?
How do you know how to do it?
You just never did it. There's no flow. There's no routine.
That's a good point, Frank.
So I'm taking myself out of anything where I feel there's a stoppage or a blockage. Hey, would you like to help? Like my mother tomorrow, we're going to go see my brother. If I just drive up my car, I make everyone's life easier because I could just take my mother home and leave her car up there. My brother gets the car.
Right,
and he's pretty far up. So I was like, they were just talking. I heard the bing in my head. I could ignore this or I can
engage.
No, if I take you there, will it make everything okay? Because I'd love to see Rob and whatever. And check out the Red Cup review on YouTube. It goes on.
It goes tonight.
Whenever you're done listening to TFR, it's on YouTube, Red Cup review. And by doing that, everyone's face lit up. Now everyone's excited to see me, whereas normally it'd be like, oh, look who's here. Yay. And you just hear Grayson, yay, it's Uncle Frankie, because I'm that guy. Where everyone's like, oh, but now they're like, whoa, adding to the situation, adding good stuff to the situation. So get out of your comfort zone, do things you want to do, impress yourself by piercing the layer of fear and nonsense and getting to a better place, a better position, so you can learn if you truly are not liking this or are truly afraid of it or not good at it, but you want to give it a shot. You're not going to know till you get up. You got to get up, pick up the baseball bat, stand at home plate, and have someone pitch to you if you're going to hit the baseball. It's the only way to get over it.
How do you learn? Now you're a baking animal. You're a baking animal and you're an awesome sous chef. Look at you.
I could cook the hell out of a chocolate chip cookie.
Yes, you can.
Right? I've rolled dough and done all kinds of crazy things. And, to some people, you're like, well, it doesn't impress me. Well, you know what? Then you go learn how to play the flute and impress me. All right? You come back with a sonnet and long curly locks with people going, oh, yeah, he's the Pied Piper. And then you'll impress me. All right. I want to thank everybody for being with us tonight. Have a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas and a happy whatever it is you are happy with. Just be happy with yourself. Love one another. Give yourself an extra big hug. You are fearless. You can do this. You are doing it.
Oh, and Kenzie, Mama, we got to talk because you and Frank with your everything is a penis and a vagina. Now I just see penis and vagina everywhere I go. So
everything is a penis entering or exiting.
We'll have a talking to, miss.
Long, thin houses set inside the middle of the block. All right, I love you guys. We are your protection of deception.
That was funny.